Alright guys, what's up and welcome back for another Diablo 3 how-to guide. Now, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more build guides, how-tos, Diablo 3 content, all kinds of stuff. Today, this video is going to act as kind of a precursor or prerequisite to the other video I've done, which is the how to complete sets and get legendaries. This guide is going to show you my method for actually farming materials to actually use those methods. Alright, if you're a veteran player, this is going to be, not new information for you. We're mainly looking at the basics of, like, starting a season, farming materials in order to use methods to get the gear you need as fast as possible. So we have to look at, any sort of activity in the game that is going to allow us to get everything that we need as far as crafting mats, forgotten souls, blood shards, and all that stuff in a very efficient manner. And this method is what I use for all of my gearing, whether it be gearing alts, whether it be gearing my main, or whatever. So, starting off, you're going to want to run this on your highest DPS class because you will be in 4-player groups and you will be doing bounties. So, and the reason we're doing bounties is because they offer absolutely everything we need in order to gear alts or just to get mats in general. What I usually do is whenever I go into a public game, and I'm not in there now, but as you can, I'll go into a public game and I'll usually just pick one act for like that session. Usually I tend to lean towards act 4, and I'll just complete everything, and then just help complete. Whenever you finish all the bounties, actually, I just put the stash or the caches in here in my stash. And the reason I do this is because when you open these on a character, then all the gear that comes out of it is going to be rolled for that character. So I usually farm on my DH, but if I farm on my DH and I put all the caches in here, all the chests in here, and then I open it up on, let's say, the Witch Doctor, then they're all going to be int rolls. And out of these caches, you gotta realize you're getting blood shards, which is important, and you're also getting all of the bounty specific legendaries, ring roll grandeurs, so that you'll need for certain builds, and also just legendaries. Those legendaries will turn into forgotten souls. So right away we're getting our blood shards and we're getting our forgotten souls. While you're running bounties, mindset here is to kill every elite you can. Now you can also use a build that has sages and all that stuff to get more DBs, but that's where our DBs are coming from, killing elites. So going a little slower on each area that you go to do bounties is fine because you're actually there to get death breath. The other benefit of this method is you also have the chance of getting goblins, blood thieves, and the blue goblins, and that's going to even further surge the amount of mats you can collect while running this farming method. So I like seeing odious goblins because that gets you all the mats in moderate quantities. Also, if you need crafting mats like veiled crystal or arcane dust or reusable parts, then while you're actually doing bounties as well, you can pick up the respective items for each one and then just salvage them. You do this for a few hours a day, you're going to end up of mats. And the reason why we lean more heavily on doing bounties and killing elites instead of just doing normals, because when you do normals, you're going to get a death breath, you're going to pick up items, you're going to salvage all that stuff, you're going to get some forgotten souls as well. But instead of doing like 2 separate tasks in order to complete one objective, which is just getting all this stuff and this stuff and this stuff, you can literally get all of these items from doing this one method. Because as you're doing bounties, if you hit the area that has the keyword in it, then you can kill the keyword and you have those. So then when you go ready to do like Ubers, then you're able to do that as well. So with that being said, the mindset here is doing bounties in a 4-person group. You don't want to be doing all 25 by yourself. That's not efficient. Go to each one, spend a little time, kill elites, champions, get death breath, pick up items as you need crafting mats for, and farm on your fastest class. Preferably you want to farm on something that's really quick, like a whirlwind barb or like a helltooth chicken. And I actually have a helltooth chicken build up here. You can look at that. And so usually what I do is after I do a pretty long session of bounties, like I said, I'll put everything in the stash here. And what this also does is, everybody has a hard cap on blood shards, right? So what I usually do is when I find blood thieves and stuff like that, this will cap out and I won't really worry about it. I'll spend it as I need. Just the act of keeping these caches in your stash means that you're basically holding in savings blood shards. So now when you go back to your alt, or you go back to the character you're trying to gear, you have everything you need. You can pop these open, you got some forgotten souls from salvaging that stuff, you got the mats that come out of here as well. And then when you start getting gear, with the blood shards, you can go to Kadala and start, looking for the items that that new class needs. And then also, since you've been collecting DBs as well, then you have the necessary items in order to start rolling stats on those things and using the cube powers and all this stuff. This is a super easy method for farming materials, and it doesn't have to be complicated. That's the thing, is you only want to do one activity in order to complete all of your other objectives. And yes, you can go and do normals or even GRs to get blood shards faster, but at the end of the day, if you go do GRs, you're only gonna get blood shards. You're not gonna get any death breaths at all doing GRs. And then you can go to Torment 13 normal rifts, and you'll get stuff to salvage, and you'll get death breaths and all that stuff, but the amount of blood charge you get is gonna be very minimal. You're gonna do a lot of runs. The thing about doing bounties is that you can basically, and you can just put them all in your stash. That way, instead of just capping all of your blood shards here and then just using them all in your character, you can cap here and have chests in your stash. And then I usually farm, do this route for like 4 or 5 hours, and then go on the character that I need to farm, or go on the character I need to gear, and then just start opening all this stuff, and then using all those mats and everything, start processing gear. So that is a long-winded version, but like I said, a lot of this stuff is not new to a lot of veteran players. A lot of people, I don't think I've even met or even talked to anybody who really does bounties just to store this stuff in here. They always just open them right when they first get them, which is fine too. If you're farming on the class that you're trying to gear, by all means, go ahead and open them as you're farming. Go to Kadala, do the cube stuff, go to the Mystic, but you got to realize you have to, you want to be farming efficiently. You need to be playing a character that can handle a 4-man solo group, which means that you're going to be in a 4-man group doing split bounties, and you're basically going to be running by yourself. You also want to have enough DPS that you can kill goblins, because this is another caveat to this method as well, is I've actually gotten into Whimsydale a few times with rainbow goblins because I'm running around adventure mode. So really, let's look at the benefits here. You're getting blood shards, you're getting death breaths, you're getting all of the crafting mats, and you're also getting legendaries to go into Forgotten Souls. You have the option also of finding goblins, whether it be Odious or Gem or Rainbow or whatever, so you actually do have more of a benefit than you would necessarily in a normal rift. And you're also getting everything in chest form, so you can actually just store them and not have to worry about going back to your character every time and dumping blood shards. That's my method. And in the comments, let me know what your method is. I know everybody has like their own way of playing, or if you try this method, let me know how it works for you. Usually, best case scenario, you probably want to put several hours into a farming session as well. Like most of the time in last season, I actually would fill up an entire stash here with chests, and then go on the alt or whatever character I was trying to gear and open them all up, and I just had mats for days. And another thing I was going to mention too is not only besides crafting mats, you're also getting all of these bounty mats, which you're going to need to reforge legendaries, whenever you find an item that you need, but it's not necessarily the best one that you can have. You have options here. You can also option to actually, kill all the keywords while you're doing bounties as well. If you jump into a 4-man bounty game, you can just decide to hit all 4 acts before anybody else and kill all the keywords, and you can also be getting this stuff. This method, literally, without no joke, you can get every single one of these items in pretty much an easy, streamlined fashion, while also having the option of getting goblins and getting to Whimsydale and maybe getting cosmic wings, who knows. But I guess moral of the story here is, when you're gearing and all, when you're looking for mats, you shouldn't be doing a million different activities to try to accomplish one goal. You should simplify it into just doing one thing in repetitiveness, and that's what it is. Once you get into this, once you get used to this method, that's all you'll be doing. You'll just be going in there mindless. You'll gear an actual character in order to actually run this, and you can use the Helltooth build that I have on the channel to optimize for this as well. So whenever you think about any Hellfire mats, any crafting mats, or any bounty mats, just think about this method and just farm it for a few hours. And I guarantee you, if you save chests and you do all these things like I've been telling you, you're going to reap the benefits, and it's going to make it a lot easier on you too. in order to use the cube to gear and use Kadala and all that stuff. So, alright, that's long-winded enough. I appreciate you guys for watching this. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more Diablo 3 content, then hit the subscribe button. And let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. And like always, have fun, good luck out there, and see you next time.